Bazar Sham, an ancient marketplace, was known for its vibrant energy, where traders and merchants from all around the region gathered. Situated in an expansive, bustling city, it flourished for centuries as a hub for goods ranging from textiles and spices to metals and rare artifacts. The bazaar's architecture was a beautiful blend of traditional Eastern design with large covered spaces for the traders and intricately carved stone structures that still carry traces of the past. People wandered through its labyrinthine streets, offering everything from local handmade items to exotic foreign wares brought in from distant lands. The atmosphere was rich with the sounds of bartering, the smell of street food, and the colorful sights of intricate fabrics and wares stacked on merchant stalls. Over time, the market's fame grew as it became a cultural and social meeting point, where travelers from different parts of the world shared stories and traditions. Yet, despite its liveliness, there were whispers of dark tales, some suggesting that the very ground of Bazar Sham had seen ancient, forbidden rites performed under the cover of darkness. The palace of Yazid the Cursed stands as a symbol of mystery and dread, linked to an ancient ruler whose legacy became one of horror. The palace, with its towering walls and ornate, decaying structures, is known for its haunting presence in the land. Once, it was a grand edifice, a masterpiece of architecture and opulence, designed to showcase the immense wealth and power of Yazid. Its marble floors reflected the grandeur of the palace, and its high, gilded columns seemed to touch the heavens. Statues of mythical beings adorned the palace's garden, and intricate frescoes told tales of heroic feats and lavish celebrations. However, as the years passed, the grandeur of the palace was overshadowed by the brutal reign of Yazid. Known for his tyrannical rule, the ruler inflicted pain and suffering on his people, and rumors spread that he had sought to harness dark, forbidden powers to prolong his reign. His obsession with immortality led him to commit atrocious acts within the palace walls, from ritualistic sacrifices to summoning spirits in his pursuit of eternal life. The palace, once a symbol of splendor, soon became a place feared by the inhabitants of the region. The palace, after Yazid's demise, fell into ruin, but its cursed reputation lived on. It was said that those who dared to enter its walls were never seen again, lost to the grip of the dark forces Yazid had summoned. Even the surrounding village grew wary, as strange occurrences began to happen. The wind would whisper at night, carrying voices from the past, and shadows seemed to move of their own accord in the decaying rooms. Some believed that the souls of those sacrificed by Yazid still roamed the palace, trapped in an endless cycle of torment. The stories of Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid the Cursed intertwine in local lore, as both are part of the ancient, shadowed history of the region. Visitors who wandered too close to these sites often spoke of an eerie atmosphere, where the past's ghosts seemed to watch from every corner. The two locations, although different in function and appearance, are tied together by the dark legacy of the ruler Yazid, whose actions left an indelible mark on the land and its people. To this day, few dare to explore the ruins of the palace, and even fewer venture near the remains of Bazar Sham, where it is said the very stones bear the weight of centuries of sorrow and secrets. Over time, Bazar Sham became a place not only of trade, but also of legend. As the market flourished and its fame spread, stories of strange happenings began to surface. Locals spoke of eerie occurrences under the moonlit sky, mysterious figures lingering in the shadows, strange murmurs heard among the crowded stalls, and flickering lights that appeared out of nowhere, casting ghostly glows along the alleyways. Some claimed the market's prosperity was cursed, as if it drew its riches from a dark source. Yet, despite these eerie tales, the bazaar continued to be a central point in the city's economy, attracting merchants and traders from all over. But the whispers only grew louder with time. The marketplace had a peculiar aura that drew both the curious and the cautious. People spoke of an ancient artifact hidden somewhere within the bazaar, an object believed to have been placed there by Yazid himself before his palace fell into ruin. Some said it was a talisman that held the key to his dark powers, while others believed it was a cursed relic that had been passed through the hands of countless owners, each suffering misfortune upon possession. As the years went by, Bazar Sham was abandoned by many, its once thriving commerce replaced with decay and dust. The merchants who had once proudly stood in its stalls were gone, leaving only remnants of their goods behind. What was once a vibrant hub became a deserted shell, where only the bravest, or most foolish, dared to tread. The market's ruins remained a haunting reminder of a past that had both thrived and fallen under the shadow of darkness. Similarly, The palace of Yazid, though largely in ruins, still carried an unsettling presence. After Yazid's death, the once immense palace was left to the elements, slowly decaying as nature reclaimed the land. Yet, some of the palace's grand features remained, such as the remnants of intricate tilework and faded frescoes that continued to tell stories of glory and bloodshed. But the more one ventured into the palace's depths, the more the air seemed thick with an oppressive weight, as though something unseen was watching. Several expeditions over the centuries attempted to uncover the secrets hidden in the palace. Some found ancient scrolls, sealed in iron boxes, that described Yazid's forbidden rituals and his obsession with immortality. Others came back with chilling stories of hearing footsteps echoing through empty halls, or catching glimpses of figures in the corner of their vision, figures that were never truly there. Local legends claimed that the palace, though abandoned, had never truly been empty, that Yazid's spirit, or the spirits of those he had wronged, still lingered within its walls. In time, the ruins of Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid became interwoven in the minds of the people, with one location feeding the dark reputation of the other. Those who spoke of one could not help but mention the other, and many saw them as two parts of a whole, a place where commerce, power, and dark forces once collided. Stories of the cursed Bazar and the haunted palace spread far beyond the region, becoming the stuff of ghostly folklore. They represented a tragic history of ambition, greed, and despair, immortalized by the cursed actions of a ruler whose legacy would never be forgotten. The ruins, though forgotten by some, still linger in the collective memory. To this day, the area surrounding Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid is considered sacred ground, visited only by those who seek to uncover the truth, or perhaps those who desire to test their fate against the whispers of the past. Whether out of curiosity, fascination with the supernatural, or a search for treasure, there are still those who attempt to unlock the mysteries of these long-abandoned places, despite the dangers and curses that seem to cling to them like an eternal shadow. The marketplace may have once been a bustling center of life, but now, it is a haunting symbol of a time gone by, one that continues to echo through. But perhaps the most chilling story comes from a man who, in his attempt to photograph the ruins for an academic study, captured a strange figure on film, an ethereal, translucent form that was only visible on the camera's lens. The image sparked a wave of intrigue, leading many to believe that the ghost of Yazid himself, or perhaps one of his victims, still haunts the ruins, trapped in a cycle of torment. Whether this photograph was a trick of light, a result of the camera's malfunction, or something far more sinister, remains a topic of debate among both skeptics and believers alike. It is in these stories, whether born of truth or imagination, that the power of Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid persists. The ruins may be crumbling, the market's once thriving commerce long since vanished, and Yazid's reign a faded page in history, but the essence of these places, their lingering darkness, their haunting beauty, and their cursed history, remains ever potent. The legends surrounding them continue to inspire fascination, as well as fear, for as long as the past echoes through the ruins, they will never be truly forgotten. One thing remains certain, the land will continue to guard its secrets. The crumbling walls of the palace and the silent stones of the market will stand for as long as the earth allows, holding the knowledge of what was, and perhaps, of what never should have been. As for the souls that were trapped by Yazid's ambition, their rest seems eternal, bound to the cursed ground where they suffered, their stories whispered through the wind. Even in this age of technology, with all of humanity's advancements in exploring and understanding the world, there are still places like Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid that defy explanation. Whether they are reminders of human folly or remnants of ancient powers better left undisturbed, they continue to stand as silent sentinels of a forgotten time. And in that silence, they hold sway over the imagination, pulling those who dare to listen ever deeper into their shadowed embrace. The ruins may be left behind by history, but they will never be fully erased, because, for some, they represent the eternal tension between what we know, what we believe, and what remains unknowable. But the allure of the unknown remains strong. Over the years, a subculture of paranormal enthusiasts has gathered around the tales of Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid. They call themselves ruin hunters and treat the cursed sites like a pilgrimage, one where the chance of encountering something supernatural outweighs the danger. Many of them carry high-tech equipment like cameras and night vision goggles, but few of them report seeing anything concrete, despite the odd feelings and strange phenomena that often accompany their visits. Nonetheless, these excursions have become almost a rite of passage for those obsessed with the mystical or the unknown, and these groups continue to return to the ruins, despite the growing sense of foreboding that surrounds them. More recently, the local government, aware of the increasing number of visitors to these sites, has taken a more active role in attempting to protect the ruins. Not out of concern for their preservation, but out of fear that the disturbing energy and dangerous reputation surrounding the sites might eventually attract someone capable of awakening the dark forces that linger there. Though they have placed barriers and restricted access, the fascination surrounding these ruins has only intensified, and rumors abound that an unspoken agreement exists between authorities and those who wish to delve into the mysteries of the palace and market. Whether this is a matter of quiet complicity or fear is unknown, but it only adds to the aura of secrecy and conspiracy that has grown around Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid. The mysteries of these cursed ruins have also attracted the attention of contemporary artists, musicians, and writers, many of whom are drawn to the aura of death, darkness, and ancient knowledge. Some have used the legend of Yazid's cursed reign as inspiration for dark, atmospheric works of fiction, while others have attempted to replicate the eerie atmosphere of the ruins in their visual artwork. The Palace of Yazid, with its crumbling stone and mythic past, has become an icon of terror in modern horror genres, while Bazar Sham has found its place as a metaphor for the pursuit of material wealth at any cost, with its abandoned stalls and dark legacy representing the consequences of greed. In a broader sense, the ruins of Bazar Sham and the Palace of Yazid serve as a warning, a timeless reminder of the dangers of power, ambition, and the human desire to control forces beyond understanding. The fall of Yazid, marked by his tragic obsession with immortality, stands as a parable for those who would dare to meddle with dark forces. The market and the palace both symbolize the fleeting nature of human grandeur, the fragility of empires built on cruelty, and the enduring consequences of those who seek to conquer death itself. Perhaps the most profound aspect of these ruins is the sense of tragedy that hangs over them. The people who lived, traded, and suffered there have long since faded into history, but their stories remain etched into the land. The market that once thrived now stands as a hollow echo, and the palace where power was once wielded so recklessly is but a crumbling monument to a ruler's ultimate downfall. What remains is a chilling reminder of what happens when greed, ambition, and the pursuit of immortality go too far, a theme that continues to resonate with those who look upon the ruins and ask themselves, what price would one pay to avoid the inevitable, and is immortality truly worth the cost? For now, the ruins of Bazar Sham and the Palace of Yazid remain standing, weathered by time but still carrying the weight of their dark history. Whether they are destined to fade into further obscurity, or whether they will one day reveal their final, haunting secrets, only time will tell. For those who still dare to enter their haunting silence, the legacy of Yazid lives on, forever entwined with the eerie presence that lingers in the air, never truly allowing the past to rest. As the years go by, the ruins of Bazar Sham and the Palace of Yazid the Cursed remain locked in an unsettling stillness. Though many feel the deep pull of the past in these places, few have the courage, or the desire, to explore them in depth. Local legends continue to grow, and the sites are woven into the fabric of the community's myths, passed down through generations. But for all their mystery, they are becoming less and less visited, as if the land itself is reclaiming them, slowly erasing them from the world's memory. Yet there are those who still believe that the ruins hold something more than just history, that they are not merely relics of a dark past, but instead active portals to another realm, a dimension beyond time where the boundary between life and death is impossibly thin. Some have claimed to have had strange dreams after coming close to the ruins, dreams that involve eerie whispers, fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures, or feelings of being trapped in a past that never truly ended. These reports, though fragmented and scattered, have kept the legend of the palace and the market alive, fueling further speculation about their true nature. Several reports have surfaced in recent years that suggest the energy around the site has begun to change again. Where once it was a place of quiet desolation, there are rumors that strange atmospheric phenomena are becoming more frequent. Some locals speak of inexplicable thunderstorms that form on clear nights, with crackling bolts of lightning striking only near the ruins, as though the land itself is rejecting the intrusion of the present. Others claim that animals, particularly birds, avoid the area entirely, their natural instincts steering them clear of the cursed ground. The growing frequency of these unnatural occurrences has prompted some to believe that the curse of Yazid, never fully extinguished, may be stirring once more, awakening from centuries of dormancy. At the same time, there are those who, in the spirit of adventure and curiosity, continue to venture into the ruins, hoping to uncover something the world has forgotten. Some come with the intent of unlocking the mysteries of the past, others with the hope of finding the artifacts or treasures said to be hidden in the depths of the palace or within the walls of the Bazar. Over time, the stories of those who dared enter the cursed ruins have only grown in stature, tales of unexplainable events and encounters that teeter on the edge of reality and myth. One group of explorers, for example, reported hearing faint music echoing through the halls of the palace, as though the spirits of Yazid's court were still holding banquets and revelries in the afterlife. Another claimed to have found an ancient tablet etched with symbols they could not decipher, but upon their departure, they were followed by shadows, which seemingly vanished only when they crossed the threshold of the cursed area. The centuries. As time went on, the area surrounding Bazar Sham and the palace of Yazid the Cursed became more than just a forgotten relic of history, it transformed into a forbidden zone. Local authorities eventually forbade people from entering the area after a series of unexplained disappearances and strange occurrences. Yet, despite the official ban, the allure of the haunted market and the forsaken palace only grew stronger. Adventurers, scholars, treasure hunters, and those drawn to the supernatural risked everything to explore the area, hoping to discover something that might explain the terrible legacy that surrounded these places. In the centuries that followed, several reports surfaced, suggesting that the location had become more active. The wind howled louder, and the once-forgotten ruins of the palace seemed to exude an unnatural chill. Those who ventured too far into the market's remains found their senses distorted, their vision blurry, and their minds disoriented, as if the very space around them twisted and played tricks on their perception. Some returned with strange markings on their bodies, unexplained wounds, or even whispers in their ears that could not be explained by reason. People continued to speak of eerie phenomena near the ruins of the palace. Strange lights would sometimes flicker at dusk, and some claimed they had seen fleeting figures in the palace windows, silhouettes of people long gone. Others spoke of a dark fog that would roll in from the sea at night, enveloping the area, drowning out all sound, leaving only an eerie silence broken by the occasional clink of chains or the soft rustling of ancient paper. Perhaps the most chilling tale that circulated among the locals involved the fabled Night of the Sacrifice. According to old stories, Yazid was rumored to have conducted his most nefarious rituals on the eve of every full moon, summoning beings from otherworldly realms in an attempt to secure his immortality. It is said that he offered sacrifices, both human and animal, in the heart of his palace, using dark incantations to bind their souls. The unfortunate souls who fell victim to his cruel practices were said to be forever tied to the land, unable to escape the palace's grasp. Local elders still speak of the full moon's effects on the area, how the light would intensify the shadows in the ruins, making them dance unnaturally, as if mimicking the souls trapped in the cursed site. Despite the palace's desolation, the surrounding land remained notorious for its unsettling energy. Farmers and nearby villagers would occasionally catch glimpses of strange, haunting figures in the periphery of their fields, figures that would vanish before anyone could approach. Some claimed to hear whispers in the wind, but when they turned around, no one was there. Over time, the legends surrounding both Bazar Sham and the Palace of Yazid began to take on the aspect of cautionary tales, warnings passed down to new generations. Children were told not to wander too close, lest they encounter the wrath of an ancient curse. And yet, as all legends tend to do, the stories grew with each retelling, becoming larger, darker, and more potent in the minds of those who spoke them. In modern times, as people began to rediscover these forgotten ruins, the sites were slowly being reclaimed by nature. The market had been consumed by creeping vines and overgrowth, the buildings of the palace were eroded by centuries of neglect, their once pristine walls cracked and weathered. The stones that had once seen the rise and fall of Yazid's power now lay in silent testimony to the ruler's obsession and madness. No matter how much the area was abandoned, it felt as if a presence lingered in the air, not quite of this world, watching over the ruins like a guardian of secrets long buried. Many believe that Bazar Sham and the Palace of Yazid the Cursed are not merely physical places but intersections of time and the supernatural, spaces where the line between the living and the dead, the known and the unknown, grows thin. The dark history tied to these locations suggests that they are not simply sites of decay, but places where curses and consequences ripple through the fabric of reality itself. Some even argue that Yazid's thirst for power and immortality left a stain upon the land that has yet to fade, and that the remnants of his actions continue to reverberate through the ruins, affecting all who approach them. As of today, the ruins of both the palace and the market remain standing, though few are brave enough to venture too far. The townspeople who live nearby are still cautious of the area, and even the most curious thrill-seekers are quick to turn back when they feel the oppressive weight of the place pressing down upon them. It has become a symbol of both allure and dread, a place that both attracts and repels, drawing those with a hunger for discovery while pushing away anyone who dares to tread too deeply. Whether as a symbol of the dangers of unchecked ambition, or as a reminder of the dark forces that can be awakened when one seeks forbidden knowledge, Bazar, Sham, and the palace of Yazid the Cursed continue to haunt the imaginations of those who hear the tales of their past. They stand as an eternal testament to the truth that some places, no matter how much time passes, are never truly left behind. They continue to shape the world long after the people who created them are gone. As the centuries wore on, Bazar, Sham, and the palace of Yazid the Cursed became more than just places of legend. They became symbols of the unrelenting passage of time and the eternal tension between the living and the dead. Scholars, historians, and occultists from across the world have been drawn to the area, seeking answers to the riddles left behind by Yazid and the marketplace that bore witness to his reign. The ruinous remains of the palace and bazaar have long been the subject of academic interest, as well as the focus of more mystical studies. Some modern-day explorers and archaeologists believe that within the crumbling walls of the palace, there may lie valuable relics, hidden treasures, or forbidden knowledge, waiting to be uncovered. The idea of rediscovering lost artifacts that belong to Yazid or even remnants of his dark rituals has led to expeditions aimed at recovering what was lost. However, no one has ever returned with proof of any such discoveries. Those who have ventured deep into the heart of the ruins have only spoken of feeling the presence of something that should not be there, something that pushes them to turn back before they can uncover the truth. Other, more superstitious individuals believe that these sites are cursed, filled with energies far too dangerous to approach. Despite the relatively unchanged physical state of the ruins, strange occurrences continue to surround them. It's said that on certain nights, when the moon is high, the ruins themselves seem to hum with a faint, dissonant energy. Some claim that a thick, oppressive mist rises from the cracks in the earth, filling the air with a suffocating dread. Those who are foolish enough to venture into these ruins after dusk speak of feeling watched, as if unseen eyes follow every step, and whispers echo in the silence. The air itself is said to grow heavy, thick with a palpable sense of unease, compelling many to leave before they venture too far.